All right, let me start off with this. This is absolutely the version that they should have released. No arguments. This should have been the version that they should have released in the cinema. And my mind is still blown why. I mean, I get why, but it's still stupid reason, in my opinion, why they didn't release this version in the cinema. Because, or in theaters if you're in America. Because this is the complete version of this movie. This version. It not only it filled some of the plot holes, it actually made the movie flow. It gave the movie time to breathe. That's why I absolutely love this movie. This version, this movie, Batman v Superman, the Unlimited Edition, has to be one of my favorite movies of the year. Whereas the theatrical version, it was alright, but if you look to my other video where I talked about the theatrical cut, I had problems with the movie. Overall, I did enjoy the movie, but I did have problems with the movie. The pacing, the editing, some scenes that you could, when I was watching theatrical cut, when I was watching it, I could instantly tell that there was pieces missing from this movie, and it was, and this movie, the Ultimate Cut, it honestly to me, the Ultimate Edition, it truly felt like a Man of Steel sequel. It really did. Like, it carried the Superman for me. It carried the Superman from Man of Steel over to this, and it just continued his development. It really did. Whereas the theatrical cut, it felt like there was a time scale. I gotta explain it. It felt weird. It felt like this wasn't the Clark Kent or Superman from Man of Steel. Like, the continuation felt like, it felt this character wasn't developed. It was weird. And this, oh my god, I just don't know. I feel really, really bad for Zack Snyder. I really do, because they went to town on him. I can still remember where people put up petitions saying that he should not direct the next Justice League because he's a horrible director. People call him Hack Snyder. People say, oh my god, I never seen that much backlash towards a director like that before. Maybe George Lucas, but then he wasn't. I mean, yeah, he was directing, but I really felt bad because this, from what I read, this is what the version that he wanted, but the Warner Bros. Had to cut the film down just for the sake of time, which I do get. But the thing that I'm really mad about is that they sacrificed the plot for the time. I mean, it's not like Lord of the Rings where the original theatrical release already makes sense, whereas when they released like Lord of the Rings Extended Edition, it really extended the experience of the film. Whereas this, the scenes that they cut out, is actually really important to the story. It actually furthers the story. Actually, in some cases, it actually changes the character's development. Like, for example, let me go into this one. Let me start with Clark Kent, or a la Superman. In the theatrical cut, basically in the theatrical cut, they did well to set up Batman's or Bruce Wayne's rage for Superman. It explores why does Batman hate Superman. But it did not do a good job of why Superman or Clark Kent has a problem with Batman. It did not set up well. It really didn't. She looked at the news, you didn't like her, and then fight. It was just weird. And the fight they had at the end, even though I liked it, it was not a strong build up towards that fight. And when this one, in the extended cut, like for example, Clark Kent, he actually investigates Batman. He actually investigates Batman to see what has Batman's actions, how does it affect people, like normal people. And that's what I liked about this movie. This movie felt grounded. I'm not saying the theatrical cut didn't, but him talking to normal people, like asking them what the effect does Batman have to them or to the area they live in, it was really nice and it's really cool because because in the theatrical release, he just hates him because he watching. He's like, oh, he's infringing on people's rights. But it felt not irrational, but it just felt underdeveloped in theatrical cut. Where in the extended cut, he actually goes and investigates. I'm like, okay, what does his actions affect people? And then it builds up the resentment that Superman has towards Batman. It builds it up, and it puts the pieces to Clark Kent of what kind of person Batman is, oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm gushing over the extended edition. I'm like, this is the version I should have released. But then when Clark Kent was investigating, he was talking to the homeless man. I think it was the homeless man, where describing what kind of person he is, and then the homeless man is saying there's a new kind of mean in him, insinuating that Batman wasn't always like this. He wasn't. I mean, maybe for sure he was always the breaking the bones kind of thing, but he wasn't the guy that crosses the line. Because in this movie, spoiler alert, Batman kills people. The thing for me is, I find it weird that people had a problem with him killing this movie, even though the past incarnation films he killed people. But whatever. But one thing I liked about this movie, that they explain the transformation, or try to justify why Batman kills, and it actually makes sense why he kills. I mean, come on, if you were Batman and you led the life that he lived for 20 years, you find crime and it all amounts to nothing, you would crack. I mean, you would go past that line. But seeing Clark Kent investigate Batman and to put the pieces together, trying to frame the picture of what this Batman is, it's really interesting, and it really shows how Clark Kent or Superman has grown. Like, this is the Man of Steel Superman, and he continues this arc. He has grown, and it was really great to see. And another scene that was really great that they cut out was Clark Kent calling his mom. It was really touching. It humanized. This is my point. It humanized. This movie did a good job of humanizing Superman. It really did. Because I have to admit, before Man of Steel came out, I was not a Superman fan. But when they deconstruct his character in these movies, I started to fall in love with him. And this seems like this him calling his mom is just like asking for advice. What would Dad do? And it was just really heartwarming. Oh my god, I'm trying to keep my anger to a low, because this actually really did piss me off. Why was this added into the movie? And the thing that I also really liked is that one of the biggest flaws in the theatrical release was the Africa scene. The Africa scene was the foundation of the movie. It was. That's where all the plot points, or the characters' motives, not the characters' motives, but it set the stage mainly. And I heard people were saying, because the Africa scene was flawed in theatrical cut, because it's basically people were using bullets, things went down, people were using bullets, and they still blamed Superman. And I was like, how? A moron would figure out that Superman didn't cause this. But they extended the Africa scene, and it made sense. Like KGB, he used a flamethrower to make and put people's body in a line. Not in a line, but put in a pile, and uses flamethrower in a line where it recreates Superman's lasers. And Lex Luthor hires this actress to make up lies against Superman, like he did this, and it all makes sense. It really does. And now the foundation of the movie is strong, it now carries over to the movie, and it puts the pieces where it all makes sense. That's what I absolutely loved. And I heard some people say in the theatrical release they should have taken out the Africa scene. That will do more damage than good. Because throughout the theatrical release, right, if you took out the Africa scene, because it didn't make sense, because they cut in a way that didn't make sense. If you remove the Africa scene, then you had to remove the bullet that Lois Lane found. Then you have to remove the chair. Then you have to remove the bombing. You have to remove the scenes, and you have to sacrifice Superman's development, because his development was linked towards the Africa scene. If you remove the Africa scene, then the whole movie would have been a mess. So that would have been a great mistake. But then, and it was just now I was so happy when they extended, because now the movie makes sense. Now the bullet makes sense, and then it links to the capital scene, which I'll talk in a minute. Because now it just made everything make sense, and I absolutely loved it. And let me talk about the Capitol scene. The thing that really pissed me off, that I really enjoyed watching in the Ultimate Edition, but really upsets me that I didn't get to see the in the theatrical release, is not the bombing. Like in the Capitol scene where Lex Luthor, he plans to bomb the guy's wheelchair. Well, first you found out the guy wasn't a terrorist, because the theatrical release, it made the guy who Scoot McNairy's character, it made him out to be some kind of terrorist. So like he just hates him and he just blows everyone. But in this one, he didn't know. He didn't know, because even Lois Lane, like the one thing I also like, Lois Lane, she had more to do. She investigates stuff. They actually links back to the overall story, which I actually liked. She actually does more stuff to do. She actually investigates. She actually found out why Superman couldn't see the bomb. Because in the theatrical release, they didn't show. It made Superman look incompetent. It made him. It gave Superman this sense of he hasn't not developed since Man of Steel. That's the thing that drives me nuts. But in this one, he has. The reason why he couldn't see the bomb, because as Lois Lane and Jenna Malone's character, you find out that she was a forensic scientist, a forensic expert, whatever. This is also one thing that I wanted to point out. Never trust rumors. Because a lot of rumors saying she was Batgirl, blah, 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 didn't turn out to be on. It was not Zack Snyder's fault. It was not her fault. It's the people's fault who actually believe in those rumors, but whatever. But then you find out that it was actually encased in lead, and it was actually encased in the same material that the bullet was used, the experimental bullet. And then, and then Superman could see it. And then when he put these pieces together, it's like, oh, now it makes sense. And then the thing that I love about the Capitol scene that was also cut is when Superman was actually helping people. He was actually helping people. He was carrying people, put them to safety. And the look Henry Cavill makes, the face he makes, where he just looks around. He just sees people on the verge of dying, or injured, or getting recovered from the blast. Just seeing his face, and the music in the background, him just looking around. It was really heartbreaking. And then he turns to Lois Lane. Quickly turns to Lois Lane. You know, his world, the person that he loves. He looks at her face and did not comfort him. He's still racked with guilt, and then he just flies off. That scene! Why was that not in the theatrical release? I'm still pissed off about that. It was such a good scene. It really gave Superman depth. It really humanized him, and I'm so angry. And it didn't, because in the theatrical release, since they cut it out, it made people think that, oh, he just flew off, like just that. But instead, he was helping people. You can actually see how he reacts to it, and it really pissed me off about that. Like that was not in the movie, and I can't. Oh my god! And the Lex Luthor thing. Even though I'm not really a huge fan of Jesse Eisenberg's performance, even though he does go. I just didn't like his portrayal of Luthor. I didn't like his portrayal of it. It just seems too cartoonish at times. Like, woo! But in this one, what I liked about it, even though that was still a problem in the movie, what I did like was he was behind everything from the very beginning. From the very beginning, he was the puppeteer. He planned it all from the beginning, from Africa all the way to the end of the movie. Even though he had the contingency plan at the end, a la Doomsday. His fingerprints were everywhere. He planned everything out, and the movie lets you know that he planned everything out, which is absolutely fantastic, which I absolutely did love. Oh my god. And I loved how they further explained the mindset of Bruce Wayne in this film. Like, they added a few scenes of banter between Alfred, because this movie made more, it pushed this idea that Alfred was Bruce Wayne's moral compass. Like, why are you doing this? We shouldn't do this. Why are you fighting this? And then Bruce Wayne's like, nah, he just doesn't want to listen. When this movie did is also, it added this, it made it obvious what kind of mindset Batman or Bruce Wayne is in this movie. How fallen Bruce Wayne is in this movie. Because one of the investigations that Clark Kent did, he talks to this woman that not Batman, but they sent to prison, and he got killed because of the branding, which is also one of Lex Luthor's plans, which I loved. Like they actually put that in the movie. When Clark was investigating, he was talking to this woman about this Bat character. It really sets up that scene. Really justifies the other scene where Batman and Superman fights, because in this scene she stated I'm paraphrasing, I can't remember the whole quote, but she's saying something along the lines of this. With men like him, words don't stop him. What stops him is a fist. So when Superman and Batman do fight, and then Superman was like, Bruce, I need your help. Like he didn't even say Batman, he just said his name, like, Bruce, I need your help. And he would listen, and he was using that sonic thing, and he was using machine guns, and then Superman remembers what the woman says. Like, look, talking to him won't say. Well, he already made his mind up. He will kill. That's why I believe Superman thinks he will kill you. So he's like, look, I have to fight. He won't listen, because that scene really. This is things that I figured out. The extra 30 minutes, the extra scenes they added. I call it justify scenes, where that scene literally justifies every other scene in the movie and makes it work. That's what I loved. It made the movie flow better. It made the movie make sense. It feels like a different movie. It really does. I know a lot of people are saying, yeah, it's the same story. Not really. Because if it was the same story, then the characters would, in the theatrical cut, like for example, the characters would still be underdeveloped. Whereas this one, it's even more developed. So can you really say it's the same story? I mean, underneath, yeah, pretty much. But in this one, it made the characters well-rounded and well-developed. So I can't really sit there and say it's the same movie, because it isn't. If it's a movie, because this movie ran up the characters, and it made Superman's sacrifice in the end mean something. Because this sacrifice at the end, because this guy went through an entire arc. Because in the theatrical release, it felt more of a Batman movie, which I do accept as a criticism. It did feel more as a Batman movie. Whereas this one, it felt like a combination of two. It felt like a Superman movie and a Batman movie, where the characters from one place, in point A, at the end of the movie, they're completely different. Like, their character arcs are well developed. Like Superman, even though he's learned a lot from Man of Steel, he still has things to deal with. He's still trying to figure out how he should approach things. So every action he takes, it always has consequences later on. And he's still trying to figure out, should I do this? Should I not? And then his mom, the scene I love when he talks to his mom, Martha. Whereas you need to decide for yourself. And then at the end, he makes this decision. He's like, this is what I want to do. This is my world. And I have to protect it. And then he makes that sacrifice where in the beginning, he makes a statement of, this is not my world. My world is gone. Krypton is gone. Where at the end of the movie, this is my world. And I will give my life to protect the people in it. Same with Batman. Batman, through 20 years, been fighting this war. And it amounts to nothing. People he knows dies. And the people like Jason Todd dying. His mom and dad dies in vain. All of it was for nothing, and it turned him cruelly. And it made him go past that line of killing. Whereas the end of the movie, he has the restored faith in humanity, where he's like, we could do better. We have to. This movie, oh my God, why wasn't... I should probably end this before I get mad. And the whole Steppenwolf scene, I'm glad they made that. I'm glad they added that. And so it really, because that scene, the purpose of that scene, one, is to make the viewers understand why Lex Luthor went crazy. Because now when he has the scene, I'm like, oh, that's why he went crazy. And two, it expands the universe of DC. The mother boxes and Steppenwolf, and they're coming. Our God is dead. They know our God could be killed, and they're coming. They're hungry. Which I love. It expanded the universe. And this movie, oh my God. I mean, there were some scenes that which was justifiable of why they had to cut, like the whole nightmare scene. They shortened that down and didn't really add anything. The whole, what else did they cut? the top scene with Lois Lane, which is really good. As a heterosexual male, that was really good to see. And the ladies would enjoy that too with half naked Clark Kent. But yeah, that was really needed. Overall, I love this movie, and I could watch the movie again and again and again. Whereas the theatrical cut, I couldn't. Even though I did enjoy the movie, I recognize that it's one of those movies that I should just watch once, and it was sad. But in this one, I could watch again because it felt complete. It felt. It felt. It really felt great. I watched it. I was never bored. It flowed naturally. It took. This movie had time for the scenes to breathe. It was fantastic. I loved this movie. I do not want to see the theatrical cut at all. This is the definitive movie. This is the movie, the ultimate edition. This is the thing that should have been in cinema. It really should. I enjoy this movie. I would recommend people to get it if they haven't seen it. If you're a fan, if you liked it and you was disappointed by it like me, who overall did like the film, was disappointed with some aspects, then pick up this one because I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really, really did. Oh my god, this actually got me really excited for the DC Extended Universe. I cannot wait for Justice League. I cannot wait for Suicide Squad. Oh my god, it's check it out. Seriously, check it out. So thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a good day.